I am due an update to talk to myself about where I am in myself and with the progression and self-discovery of who I want to become and where I am at. Lately, I have been dealing with an inner, very strong feeling of shame, as well as a feeling of unworthiness, as well as a lot of fear and anxiety, which is also the reason why I have not been talking to myself on video lately. I have felt like hiding in a box. So today I owe it to myself to be honest with where I am in myself. Right now, my feet and hands are in a bucket, a dish with vinegar, water, salt, and sodium thiosulfate, rather, which are all antifungal and very helpful for the skin and for any problems. This is part of my shame. I have suffered my feet. I've had this problem for about 20 years. And it makes me so ashamed to admit it. And because I am so ashamed, it is good to disclose it. Because maybe I can then learn to appreciate it for what it is. And love it, as Kyle says. Just love it for what it is. Love my body for all its weaknesses. Now, talking about body, what about my abdomen and the uterus? Well, that's another of my shames it has moved on a little bit. It's not as pointy as it used to be, but it's as large as ever. It's not reduced. It keeps starting to reduce, and then it stops, and then it grows back. And then I do something else, another protocol, and it starts to reduce again. And then I give up the protocol because I got caught on, I'm too busy at work, or I found something else. I thought, I should try that at the same time, and then one protocol gets left. And that's very interesting. It also, lately I have been thinking about it very much. I don't know what you think of Chinese medicine. I value it highly. My mother did as well. She knew a doctor, French doctor, who had studied there. Unfortunately, died young. Not of disease, but of something else, I don't know what. And it was a great loss for her because he was going to help her with all her skin problems. She had great problems with skin tags, moles, and anything that shows you that your lymphatic system is probably not very healthy, as well as perhaps your liver and your major organs. But we don't know really because I've not studied it enough in that matter. But on that website, they talk about acupressure. They say for a medium-sized fibroid, which is a uterus enlargement, it will take 8 months minimum for it to show any results using only natural therapy. And they say as well as lifestyle changes, which include eating good food. They say you have to do acupressure on all the major points and organs linked with the abdomen. So I have now started yet another protocol of acupressure. There are about maybe 15 points all over my body to press for at least, say, a minute each. I'm going for a minute. So all I do, like for example, there's one here, that's a large intestine. So this one has to be pressed on both hands. I would say twice a day, it seems to be what they say. So I've started with that. There's several on the feet, several on the legs, one on the abdomen, And I had started that in the past, but not as intensively. And it had started to work, but I'd given up because it takes so much time and I got too busy. So the whole thing is interesting because it's an immune system. Is it immunity? No, it's not quite immunity, is it? Oh, another thing is on the website, the Chinese medicine website, they say fibroids are usually operated on, which is what people keep telling me I should do. Go under the knife, have it all taken out, all your problems will be finished. And because I've had a homeopath for a long time and I really believed it was right, but I did not want to abandon all the protocols I was doing to follow his very classical homeopathy, which is you take one remedy for 2 years, that's it, and you do not take any herbal remedies, you live very simply, you don't eat drastic foods, you don't take anything else that could counteract, you don't drink coffee, you don't eat mint, it's all way too severe. I'm not willing to go through that. But he said, and the same as that website says, if you remove the symptom, the cause of the symptom which is not addressed, which is generally internal and more serious than the symptom you have, will come up. So the Chinese website said if you remove the fibroids, the reasons why it is there in the first place, which is generally an internal dampness and stagnation of the major organs, they say it brings a whole lot of other problems. Of course it would relieve something because the pressure it makes, like when I bend like this, it's pretty uncomfortable. But it's okay, because I have to concentrate on the breathing. I've learned so much recently, so much. And so much is happening. It is why it is difficult to follow one protocol and stick with it. It seems I do get distracted in my life, both by the external world, obviously. I'm not worried about the flu because it's only the flu and I've not managed to catch it in 2 years yet. I'm so grateful I've not gone the recommended way of, having injections, because I would be dead by now. I'm so hypochondriac. I would be looking out for the heart signals that tells me I've got a blood clot somewhere and I'm about to die. So I didn't go that way. I'm very, very grateful about that. And that brings on another anxiety about people around me dying. Lately, I've been very anxious about those around me dying, which I recorded for any viewers who were interested in the previous video. There has been so much. I managed to fall out with someone who was a coach, lifestyle coach, life change coach, who was following Bob Proctor's program, to which I had signed up with in January. Now, in last year, I earned a lot of money and I thought, that is it. I will earn a lot of money for the rest of my life. I can afford to do these things that I've always wanted to do. I always thought I wanted to do a Joe Dispenza retreat, a 7-day retreat. But when I sometimes hear him speak, I think, do I want to go and meet him? The thing is, it would be great to be around people who are healing all over the place, who are managing, just letting go of their egos and not judging. They're just going with the flow, connecting with the united field that unites us all and just making miracles happen. But anyway, I didn't think I could afford it, so I signed up with a coach to manifest more abundance in my life and to manifest the healing. So we set up goals. Well, I set up goals. First of all, I didn't know what I want. All I want is to be healthy and have enough money so I don't have to worry. That doesn't mean very much. Because as soon as I think, even if I had £1 million in my bank accounts, what if the Wall Street thing of the 30s happens and all the money is worthless? And I think, oh, financial security is not security at all. It could be all taken away, or it could be worth nothing. So maybe security would be in owning a house somewhere. But then I think if I own a house, I really need to have a lot of money with it, because houses need repairs, roofs need repairing, central heatings may need changing. There might be woodworm, you need to change the whole floorboard somewhere, or whatever it is. So that's not security really, because there could be an earthquake, it could all collapse. It's full of fears. My mental goals, I could not find them. So all I said to him was, all I can do is imagine myself really glowing, radiant and happy. I know it's not a goal, but that's all I can imagine. I can't think what else I want in life except arrive at death point when I'm going to pass away, with as little suffering as I can have. And that's not a brilliant goal. It's not being full of life and living life to the full, well, which is the same thing. It's not a worthy goal, but it's all I could find. So we worked on that goal, which kept changing a bit. And I said, oh, it would be nice to have finances coming regularly from different places all the time. And there were exercises to do. I've got all my health protocols. What was I doing at the time? Oh, I started taking mushrooms, which are anti-cancer. I thought the fibroid is like a cancer, except it's not cancerous. So I'll treat it as if it is a cancer. So I started taking mushrooms, and they started to work. But then they stopped working again, and I stopped improving. There was that I was supposed to use a trampoline at least twice a day. Can I do it? No, willpower is absent on that one, even though I love it and it makes me feel really good. Something in myself wants me to suffer. That's the point of it. Is it my ego? It must be that. It wants me to be unhappy. Well, I'm aware of that. So with a coach, in the end, I will not disclose how much I had to pay per month. I paid a quarter, another month, and then I had several issues during it, because I was extremely busy, having had another review with my business, the chocolate business. In January, I had to get back straight to work after quite a pretty dense period between July and December, where I had worked non-stop. So I wasn't able to stop very long. I was knackered. My helper got sulky, and he said, that's too much. I'm not helping. I just need to rest. This is just too much. So I worked on my own, did all the orders. It was pretty, hard work. And I couldn't find the time to do the exercises, which were the coaching exercises. You have to look at your beliefs, but I thought the course wasn't very well put together. It didn't tell you list all your beliefs. It just said, what brought your beliefs here, and how would you be if you didn't have all those beliefs, which is all very well, but it's without working with someone who's a bit of a psychologist or a psychotherapist, it's really hard to access it on my own. And the coach wasn't too good with listening. So one day I had a crisis, and I sent him a really long email saying exactly what I thought, which was not very appreciated, but I always do that. I send really long emails saying exactly what I think. Oh, it makes me feel so much better. But anyways, that was a bit of a problem. Then I said in there as well, it looks like I can't afford to pay you the next month, so I'm going to have to stop. He didn't say, okay, you've paid for, really, the course was supposed to be 6 months. You've paid for 3 months. Let's do a month for free and see where you are at. And then we can take it from there. See if you can pay after 3 months, because that was about 2 months. Really, I should have had more lessons. So he was kind a bit. He said, well, just have a break, because I said I wanted a break. I wasn't able to do all these exercises. I had to do it twice a day. All this writing down and writing my goals, imagining my goals becoming true. But my goal is so bloody vague, and I started having blockages mentally. I couldn't visualize myself happy because I was knackered. I was just working way too hard. I was burning out. And then he said, oh, when can you pay again? I said, well, I can't afford to. So I sent him a photo of my bank account, which contained the whole sum of £1,000, which is more than I have had for the last 20 years, really, because whatever I've done in the past, I seem to never have had the money, never. So that was good for me, that was a lot, but it wasn't enough to pay the coach. So I said, I need to stop. He said, oh, well, can you afford €250 a month, which is £230. Oh, I said, oh, well, okay, let's carry on, because I think this can work, because you're a good coach. So I paid her €250. Then I had another crisis, because I was really knackered, and I suddenly thought, hold on a minute, he should have really given me more time for my money there. Why is he asking to pay? And we got confused, because I said, well, I can't do as many lessons. If you agree to pay less, can we just do one lesson per month or every 2 weeks, and then I can work in between, do my best? And he said, well, no, I want to help you progress faster, so we'll carry on. We'll do it once a week. So I felt a little bit trapped, really, and I got angry inside. I thought, is it just after money? Am I just a fool who's just being fooled into giving most of my really hard-earned money? I know it was abundant, but, I didn't have much left. And if something can go wrong, my car can break down, and the last service I had was £400, and, that's a lot. 4 tires to change, that's not much left on the account. You need to keep that money. I couldn't carry on paying him. So I got upset with him, told him what I thought. I sent him a really long email, but I was as peaceful as I could, because I know it's easy for the ego to get wound up and exaggerate things. I think I might have exaggerated 1 or 2 things in my very long emails. Or got it wrong. Well, one thing is, when I said I want to stop the coaching entirely, what happened? I can't quite remember. Is it the same day or the next day? I'd joined a group on his Facebook thing. And I received an invitation for that group again. I thought, what did he do? Did he just out of anger just take me off the group? Well, it happened. I said that in the letter. I said, that was really sad of you to do that. I didn't say it's childish, because I really thought he'd done it on purpose. But then he said, oh no, my Facebook group was changing to a new page. The admin, which is not existent, it's, I don't know what, an admin that lives in a computer somewhere, moved everybody and dropped out some names. So that's why I did a friend's request. This is all your long email was just a really misunderstanding. I won't bother replying to it. I've given you longer hours every time we've spoken, which is true. But I did acknowledge that he gave me a lot of hours. But I just was so angry with the whole thing. And he's also worked with Eckhart Tolle, which is who is an amazing person. And he said you have to work with gratitude. You have to feel so much gratitude day and night, morning and night. And you know what? As soon as I tried feeling gratitude, I felt just anger at him. Anger at all this money, which I thought it was going to manifest much quicker in my life. But I wasn't able to do the work, and I wasn't able to focus. I tried to give myself the space, and I got more and more angry. And then I had to burn the course that I'd printed, all the notes I'd taken, because it was near my bed, and every time I went to sleep, I felt anger at it. I felt anger that I couldn't feel gratitude anymore. I couldn't connect with myself. I had all these skin condition because there's something else that's happened in between. is I've started to take a very strong antifungal medicine internally. And it's made a huge rash happen all over my body, which is also why the shame, it's a manifestation of shame, because what shows is on a physical body, it's very easy to associate that with feeling shameful and lesser than everybody else, because even people who are overweight have beautiful toenails and beautiful feet, beautiful hands, beautiful skin. Yes, they may have diabetes and liver failure, but they look beautiful, so they don't need to look shameful like I feel shameful, but I haven't got all the problems that they have, obviously, that are more serious than mine. So the skin eruptions, I felt like shit. Truly, I've never had an eruption like that. It was like hives. Had it on the arms, on the armpits, up to the chest, on the belly, on the back, it was started to go on the legs as well. So I started taking Triphala powder, which is a very good Indian powder made very detoxing. That helps bowels, but it didn't help the eruption. So that's when eventually my landlady, who's very much into acupressure, gave me the books that are more complete than the books I have, how to treat your skin eruptions with acupressure as well as a fibroid. So now there's even more points to press, but it's working. My skin eruption is a lot better, and the problem on the feet is getting better, but not. It's only because I do the baths, and as soon as I stop doing the baths, it comes back. So it's not treated inside. So it's been hard work, because now I've really lost faith in coaches. It doesn't mean I wouldn't have a coach again. And as I said to him, yes, I exaggerated that in the email. I said, you have put me off coaches forever. I will never have a coach again. Because it costs so much money, and nothing has manifested. My health has got worse. My work wasn't as successful as I was hoping this last season, despite the enormous amount of work I put into it. I don't know what I imagined. I worked as if it was going to be really, 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 really busy, and it was quite busy. It was very good. I would have been delighted last year, but this year, because I'd made so much and I'd tired myself out so much, I was not happy. So I've been going through a period of feeling just very frustrated with myself for not managing the manifesting thing, and not letting life through me, because where do I turn next? What protocol do I start? Yes, I should do meditation, and I do sometimes, and sometimes it works wonderfully, but it's not every day. So it's then there are other things in life that come up and are tiresome. But there's another thing I've discovered lately is I am scared of food. Now, I'd never realized that. I nearly did a video on it, but I was too tired that night to do it. I realized when I eat, I judge everything. I judge everything that I eat, and if it's not organic, it makes me quiver a little bit, and I think, right, how many chemicals are sprayed on these products that I've read about before? And whatever it is that I'm eating, then if it's organic, then I'm thinking, is this going to affect my liver? Is this going to affect my eyesight? Is this going to affect my digestion? Because it's one of the foods that is not good, supposedly, to eat for people who live in stress. So bread is not recommended, dairy is not recommended, so I've stopped mostly all dairy except yogurt and butter. I stopped buying milk because I didn't trust milk was very good for me. And well, what is left, there's meat, but then with meat there's a problem of the guilt of killing the animal, even though I believe that they have to fulfill a purpose too, just like we will be eaten when we die if we are buried by whatever worms, and we return to the earth. The animals' lives is there for us, and I do my best to eat animals that have been either free range, bred organically, or that have had a good life, if I can. And sometimes I eat animals that haven't had a good life, like if I go to the restaurant. And then I worry how much toxins is this going to bring my body? How much emotional, energetical toxin is this making me heavier with? So there is this whole worry about food, that what I'm eating is just slightly toxic. So I get lost in my head. Yes, there's cabbage, but too much cabbage, did you know that it can depress your thyroid glands because it removes iodine from, or it stops it being absorbed by the thyroid. So I thought the thing with cabbage is, let's eat it with a lot of seaweeds, therefore it will take the seaweed's iodine and leave alone maybe the one from the thyroid. Things like aubergine, tomatoes, potatoes, nightshade families, they carry toxins, or they're acidic and they're meant to not be good for joints. Oh, more poison this side. If I turn there, what do I look at? Fruit. Too much fruit is not good for yeast growth. Too much fruit can rot your teeth. Too much acid of the fruit can cause problem with my mouth balance. Sometimes it erodes my teeth and then they hurt for a couple of days. And too much fruit isn't good. Where do I turn? Okay, I could eat oats, but oats, they've got a lot of these bloody oat casings that are really hard, and it's really annoying. They don't clean them properly, so you keep biting on these really hard things. And I've read in a book, if you have oat bran, it's the worst thing you could have. Oat bran is so hard that it scrapes your intestine, and it's really not good for you. So there I am, paranoid about oats, which is the best food I could probably eat, which I love. I love the flavor of oats. Where do I turn? Oh, the water. I'll talk about the water now. The water, plastic pipes, microplastics. Microplastics are toxic. They gather in our organ. Water. Oh, so I can't do anything about the water because it comes in a blue pipe. So it gathers microplastics or microplastics energy on its way here. I do filter it with charcoal in a glass jar, but I'm not sure the charcoal removes the microplastics. So it's quite a nice water, but I also use a water filter. The water filter made of plastic. Microplastics in your water. What health problems is that going to bring me? So you see, I live in a permanent state of stress. I've managed to buy myself a mattress which has not got formaldehyde. It's a mattress that's made by a company in Devon. In fact, I had to find the details for someone. I've forgotten who it was. It's made from wool and from organic cotton. Organic wool and organic cotton. So it's not carrying the toxin. So at least I can rest at night knowing that I'm not breathing in chemicals. But there is a problem of dust mites. So I change my bedding every week now. Because that makes a load of work. You know, it's really hard when you think you know the answers to your health, and the more you try, the more it gets worse with time, because you've forgotten the main principle of health is to live in a state of peace. Which takes me back to one last thing I wanted to mention, which is one of my biggest fears I've had since a child, is to be destitute when I'm old. You know, when I'm old. What is old? When I'm, say, 80-year-old. It's not old in terms of some people live till 120, some live longer than that. I've just found that out last night. It was amazing news. So the worst scenarios that I could envisage for myself, I've never talked about it on here, is I would end up living under the bridge with other people like me who would not have the means to live in a house. Those people would live under the bridge with me would be mostly alcoholics and drug users who use syringes and who get off their heads and then steal to feed their drug habit. And that I would just die of shame, of skin disease. I would be like, one of those that nobody wants to touch. So that's my biggest fear, and I've lived with that forever. So this fight and flight that I'm in, of I must earn as much money, and then I bloody waste it on a coach that didn't bring anything except maybe a few advice that I could have read in a book, frankly, or listened for free on YouTube. It has been inside this fear of not succeeding in life, because I wasn't worthy to succeed. I wasn't good enough at anything. I didn't do high studies. I didn't even study with the chefs for the business I'm in. I mean, if I had done some course with some famous whatever, some Michelin star, whoever, the popular guy of the time, it would have brought me a lot more business. But do I want more business? No, because I can't make any more, and I don't want to employ, because I want to remain a one-person business, really. So, and then you've got COVID. And what do we do? Oh, there we go. We are shut at home, which is, it's okay, because it's not like in Australia or China where they're dragging them out and putting them in camps. And then there's that fear of everybody dying around me from, what, the old, that one. It's just been a myriad of anxious thoughts, which it's not depression. It's anxiety is really about the future. So what I do now, after all this and all this fretting, I've got a bit of time. I can relax. I don't have any plans to do anything big with the chocolates. So I can rest for a while and recover my strength, because it's been hard work, very much hard work. And there's the French elections, of course. Who's going to win? That cretin of Macron or that racist of Le Pen? I'm not voting. What's the point? They'll just do what they want. If the elections are, what do you call it, when they cheat, they'll cheat, whatever happens. But that doesn't matter too much, but I feel sorry for my French compatriots stuck in France with some awful Macron. He's so, really, I can't believe he's made all this happen, frankly. I can't believe the French have obeyed either. Where is the revolution? Where is the cutting of heads? We have to comply when we think our lives is in danger, isn't it? And aren't I the first one complying? I did wear a mask for a long time. Not for myself, but because it's what is done. So we have to look like we people are very scared. We have to look like we protect them, don't we? I don't mind. I've said before, I don't mind dying. It's just in between now and dying which is a problem. So how do I do in between? To go back to the good news, Gregg Braden, a downloaded video I didn't know was any good. He talks about people and the lifespan and what is it called? DNA. The things that are at the end of DNAs that are like the cap. They stop the DNA from splitting when the cell reproduces. And with age, those... Oh, I forgot the name. I've known it all morning, but I've got a brain fog there. Something quite beautiful sounding. These things, they reduce with age, and then you end up with physical problems. And I think it's what has happened with my body. Is I have lived under so much stress, mentally, physically. Despite all the wonderful things in my life, I stress myself out like hell. telomeres, thank you. The telomeres must be damaged because I've had, health issues which I should not have, because I have been eating well. I've been eating organic as much as I could. I've respected myself, going to bed as early as I could, not in the last couple of days, but lately I have had a lot of good sleep. So my body should be well. But I'm not well in my head, so it's in turn not going to help my body to want to be alive. I'm sending it confusion signals with this fear of food. What should I eat? Oh, another thing with whole foods, because some of you would know, Alexandra, yes, because I'm talking to you, because there's several of you in there. Things like millet and buckwheat are really, supposedly really good for us. But I read in a health book they take away our minerals if we don't ferment them or soak them or sprout them, because they contain not alkaloids, phytic acid. Phytic acid, all seeds and grains contain that. It's to stop things eating them, something like that, or protecting the seeds potential, something like that. So when we eat that, it takes away minerals. So when I read that, I thought, millet, that good old millet, is not safe for me to eat. It will take out all the minerals in my body. And no is quinoa, that's the same. And no is buckwheat. There's no issue, there's no escape. I can't go anywhere with food. I can eat dandelions, but because they're healthy, they don't contain any toxins unless the dogs peed on it, and it contains parasites. So they have to be soaked in water and vinegar if I eat them raw, to make sure I'm not getting bloody parasites. It's just fear all around, all inside. So how do I deal with myself in that state? We go back to internal feeling, low self-worth, lack of trust in life. And life has been so good to me. It saved me from a car crash the other night. It was bloody amazing. Really amazing. I wouldn't be there now. I'm very grateful for life. Thank you. There's all this to deal inside me. I'm not religious. Jesus is okay, but he really could have got off the cross. So I'm resentful to him about that, and I'm resentful at the coach. So I need to let go of the resentment, because his reply to my long email just was not the reply I would expect from someone who is wise. It was not wise. Yeah, I'm very disappointed, but I guess I made it. It was essential. I went through there that I gave myself the opportunity to try something that could have worked for me. So, one thing I've discovered that I cannot die from, that's really good for me, breathing. Okay, so I'm concentrating very much on nose breathing and also slow breathing. I'm more inclined to follow the Buteyko technique than the Wim Hof technique of breathing, which I found very stressful. Even though it helped, it was stressful, and eventually it stopped helping. It's like everything, it starts helping and then it stops helping. One other thing I've discovered, worked on rather, is sound healing, the sound. Did you know that our ears are connected to every organ, and it has more brain connections from the ears than the eyes? That was fascinating. So I'm looking more into it. I nearly recorded some the other night. I was really drawn to singing one note that I felt was from my lower abdomen, and I did it, and it reverberated. I felt it all through my left side of the body. So I'm carrying on with that, because I truly believe the sound can help my mind, if nothing else. Even if it can't make the fibroid shrink, it can help me with my inner feelings, the ones that I find really hard to let go of. I'm starting carrot juicing again in the morning. I've not unfortunately taken the trouble to go and fetch nettles yet. I really should make the effort, because that's really healthy as well. But the Chinese acupuncture people, they think too much juice isn't good for us, too much raw food isn't good for us because it's cooling for the body and it's damp. And so if we suffer from dampness and stagnation, they think it's not so good. So they recommend millet and buckwheat, the ones that contain phytic acid and will take all my minerals out of my body. So I will force myself to buy some millet, I will force myself to cook it, and I will eat it, thinking, is this taking minerals out of my body? Should I be drinking my urine afterwards to regain the minerals I've lost? You know, when you're lost in the mind about your life, it's so difficult to find the direction. So I can only keep on breathing. And whenever I feel inclined that way, when it comes naturally, I feel gratitude. I felt gratitude all day yesterday. I had a wonderful day. It was wonderful. So feel gratitude and just forget about the resentment. Forget about the money I've spent that I didn't need to spend, that I could have spent on buying new clothes, which I do need, because the thing about low self-image is a lot of my tops have holes in. I've had them for years. So I do need new clothes. I need to buy some, but I don't want to spend the money, really. You know, it seems a bit pointless. Clothes, we don't, you know, appearance doesn't matter. But there is something that it makes me feel a bit tramp-like, which then links with my old fear of living under the bridge. So I must make an effort to buy necessary clothes, like tops mostly is what I need. Then I looked online for organic clothes. There's nothing, it's all bloody ugly, it's shapeless, the pattern is awful. So I thought, okay, that's not for me. Look at handmade clothes. So I look on Etsy. Well, some things are okay. A lot of it, what? £46 for a dress that's just shapeless? I could make that in 5 minutes. Why don't you make my own clothes? Oh, I haven't got time because I've got a business to run. Okay, so do I want to spend the hard-earned money on clothes that I don't really like? Or do I want to spend an hour of my time every day working on sewing projects to make myself new clothes? The answer is obvious, isn't it? It would make me so happy if I made myself some clothes. I love my handmade clothes. I love them. They're different, they're fitted. Yes, I've got an issue about my belly. I know some of the viewers on this channel have commented they love it and they want to see it, and I don't want to show it because I'm just ashamed of it. I used to be so thin and I've got a big lump now. Oh, you know, I don't want to show it. It's really hard. When you're living those things, you understand why people with weight problems struggle with their self-esteem. I understand. I so feel sorry for them. And when people comment about what they call fat people, I think you shouldn't speak like that. Because if it was you, you'd be fucking crying, swallowing that donut that you have no willpower to stop going down your throat. I feel so sorry for them, I really do. It feels awful when you feel low self-esteem with your body and you aggress others in your mind about the same things that you feel, because often it's a reflection as well. They probably have a problem with weight gain, and that's why they judge other people for being fat, because they think, oh, it might be me next. What was I talking about? I lost the thread there. Oh yeah, about showing my belly, making my own clothes. I feel sad because I feel I can't look smart anymore because I can't hold my belly in. It's forever pregnant till it happens, because I still believe the miracle can happen. I still know, but I know I'm stopping it. And how do I unveil this? How do I change my ego? You know what I thought earlier? Maybe it's a fool's idea, but maybe if I keep pressing the acupressure points of the main organs, the liver, the kidneys, the spleen, which is very much targeted with the fibroid. The spleen, what else was there? Well, the large intestine, obviously, which is not getting the waste out quick enough, that my personality will change, because there is a thing that Bob Proctor is very good on that. He says, if you force a change of personality, like you try your hardest to be different, yes you do, and you manage, you stop judging everybody because you know it's not good, and you stop judging. And he said that change is only temporary, always, because you have forced it on yourself. The change has to come naturally. It has to come from inside. So I'm thinking, if I keep pressing the points, I believe my personality is contained in my organs, or at least they are the one making my personality. So I keep pressing them and I bring balance back into them. My personality might change enough, not hugely, but enough to change whatever is causing the behavior, which is causing the stress, the beliefs, the lack of trust in life, the belief the world is about to explode in a minute, not from nuclear, but now more worried about the earth just getting rid of us, because have we spoilt it? Have I spoilt it with my thoughts? I would say it's half and half. It's half light, half dark. How do I accept myself? How do I accept myself with all my flaws? So I'm still there at acceptance. So I'll keep pressing, and a change might happen. It is starting to happen again, a positive change, as I'm resting and going more outside, looking at the sun. At the moment as well, I'm treating skin tags. I've had a lot more skin manifestations in the last few years, which I also believe are caused by stagnation and stress. So my body is looking more like my mother's body as she grew older, and that is my worst fear, because bless her, her body, with the problems of the skin she had, it was pretty difficult. It must have been so challenging for her. And I've got very little skin tags and moles comparing to her, but they're growing, so that shows me I'm doing something wrong in this life. So there we are. I'm not going to add another layer of stress, but it's hard not to worry about it. When you see the change that occurs because you've made it happen for yourself, you've called onto the fear and you're manifesting your fear, it's pretty powerful. Yes, so I will stop there because this video is way too long for me. I will watch it now. I know you can't see my face very well. Oh, what is it? Oh, big black under the eyes. Oh, I've not been drinking enough water here lately as well. I need to go and have a drink now. So yes, this is where I'm at, but it's not going to stop me to do music and carry on with the singing. And I'll carry on working on the personality. I have noticed I am not yet managing to balance my mouth. There's one side that is higher than the other, and even though I'm aware of it, I'm not. I guess that's something to do with the organs and the imbalance in the body. Well, the Chinese, they say it is. And even though they're not very good with their people, they're very good with medicine. So, oh, you know what? I'm going to start Tai Chi. I never wanted to do Tai Chi, but my friend wants to go. And the lady, we met her on the market, and she looks really nice. She seems a genuine person, not a wallet chakra type. And she did say it should help if you have congestion in your abdomen. So I'm looking forward to next week. First Tai Chi lesson. I wanted to do Qigong because I like that, but I've never tried Tai Chi, so I'll try it and see what happens. Look, I was nearly crashed the other night. I nearly lost my life. Either that or I don't know what would have happened. He was in the middle of the road with his big fucking truck with the dog cages at the back. I was in a blind spot. He hadn't seen me. And I was just about to go out of my parking space. He was speeding as well. And I was not stressed, and something told me to wait. It wasn't even a huge warning, but it was take your time. And I did take my time. And the car whizzed like that. Oh, fuck. I nearly had a fucking crash. There was a wall between me and the car, so... Oh, you know, I've escaped it. So all these problems I'm talking about today, they may not even exist. If I had been at all stressed when I took my car, I would have driven off, not seeing. So I'm alive. So all this really, the skin problems, the shame, the clothes with holes, what the fuck, it doesn't matter, you know, it doesn't matter. I'll do my best to enjoy today. And if any of you who like my 2 subscribers that I left, if I hope you don't watch this. It's, I mean, I don't mind you watching it, but it probably is a waste of your time. There's better things to do. If you want to watch good things, go and find Kyle Cease. He's wonderful. Kyle Cease, he's got integrity when he speaks. I get him totally. But I'm not going to go and pay him £1,000 or whatever it is. I'm not paying anymore. No to coaches.